Good morning, Brit Lit students. We got 4 weeks left of school. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Got to spend some time celebrating Mother's Day. Today, you should hopefully have a summary written for that first section on his voyage to Lilliput. I wanted to just give you guys a couple things to consider as you're reading it. Today, you're going to read a voyage to Brobdingnag, which is another place that he goes in his travels, and they are very different from the Lilliputians. The Lilliputians, as you hopefully observed, are very tiny, about maybe 6 inches tall, finger size even. They have an emperor or a king who has a really long name here. I'm going to read part of it. Golbasto, Momarin, Evlame, Gerdillo, Shern, Muli Oligu. Okay, that's a pretty cool name right there. But he acts really important, and they're pretty good to Gulliver, except they make all these like laws for him to be able to stay there. They make him do a few things that he doesn't really like doing, like having to attack the fleet, the ships of their enemies from Blefuscu. And the main reason that they're enemies with this other tribe or this other nation is because they disagree where you crack the egg. Do you crack the egg on the smaller side or the larger side? What Swift was doing there is making fun of the petty reasons why people go to war and dislike other nations. Okay. And it talks about also how the Lilliputians had two factions or parties, kind of like England had the Tories and the Whigs, and America has Republicans and Democrats. It all had to do with fashions. They're the high heels and the low heels, basically. And so Swift is making fun of politics and attitudes in England through this very heavily. The Lilliputians are supposed to represent England, and they think that they're really important and big when they're really minuscule, and there's other people, bigger people out there, and they really only care about themselves and their history, which is very much what England was like during the time, and Swift didn't like it, so he mocks it. He's really big. He represents like goodness and civility. In this next section where you're going to read, it's flipped around. Gulliver is tiny, like a Lilliputian, and the Brobdingnagins are very giant and large, and they are civil. And in this situation, it's Gulliver who represents England, while the citizens on this new voyage, the people that he's visiting, represent the goodness and civility and bigger and better people who are out there. Okay, so pay attention to that as you read it. You will find some questions posted in LMS and also in your OneNote homework folder that are due tomorrow. There's 5 questions I'd like you guys to answer. I tried to give you some clues as to where you look for the answers there. We will have a little meeting tomorrow, and please make sure, I didn't post it as a due date yet. I'll probably make it due by the end of the day tomorrow to make sure that you have left a message for the next 2 seniors, Colton and Keikoa. So with that said, enjoy your reading today. And what I'm hoping we can do when we have our meeting is just talk about all the different things that Swift is making fun of. Even if you don't know specifically what he was making fun of in England in the 1700s, you can just talk about the funny things about the culture in the voyage to Lilliput, and then the funny things about Gulliver in the next section.